Well, howdy, folks. K-Dog here. It's time for another Blu-ray and DVD update. Well, it's been a Blu-ray month. Didn't get much. Only got 3 titles. One title everyone really knows about, but I'm going to save that one for last because I have a little bit more to say about it. Some of my comments that I said about it. I had a kind of a debate with one famous guy who also does this, and he wasn't sure this validates what I'm talking about. But we'll dive right in here, so let's roll the intro. Well, welcome on back. First off, we're going to kick things right off. This was pretty much old titles, just getting rid of a lot of stuff I wasn't watching. That's what I've been tending to do with every Best Buy upgrade and save. I've just been getting rid of a lot of stuff, and a couple things that I really want to see on high def, and just movies I want to see in general. This being one of them. How about, I'd seen pieces of this, and I'd never seen the full thing, and I knew what it was about, but I'd never seen pieces of it. What am I talking about? Pulp Fiction. Yes, of course, I got this, fairly cheap at Best Buy. It's a cheap Blu-ray, and just off the wall movie. I'm not that big of a Tarantino fan, but this one probably has to be the best one in my book. Just the scene. I think the scene at the end is probably the best scene in the movie to me, where Sam Jackson sets the guy straight. And he's telling him to put the wallets in the bag, and he tells him, "I want you to go in the bag and find my wallet." And which one is it? Yeah, Pulp Fiction. And the sad thing with Tarantino is I feel that he's kind of ripping off himself now more than ever, and he's got to reference his own movies. Every movie kind of has a similar tone, even though they're completely different movies, but they all got to talk like Quentin Tarantino. Every word is F, and it's just, yeah. Next one, I would probably get some criticism for this one, but I don't care. I like this movie, and I've wanted to own the Blu-ray of it for quite some time. Downside is it doesn't have the slipcover, but I get the same contents in the movie as well. How about Where the Wild Things Are? Yes, I really enjoyed this movie. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of kids didn't like it because of the fact of it. It was kind of boring and slow-paced because it was not your typical kids' film. I thought the marketing of this was very misleading. The thing being is that this was really meant for the kids that grew up with the story. It wasn't meant for the kids of today. And of course, you have to read the book in order to understand what this is. And a lot of people don't know that this was the version this was the movie that was only to be made. They had tried for years. Sorry, hit the table. They had tried for years to do an adaptation of this movie. And even Disney was going to do it back in the early 80s. And it was going to be directed by John Lasseter, from Pixar fame. He was going to direct a Disney animated version of Where the Wild Things Are. But then, as Maurice Sendak, the author of the book, started looking what they were doing story-wise, he quickly pulled the plug on it. And, of course, Disney was going through experimental times. They were not doing so well at the time. And they were looking for the next big thing. And, of course, Maurice Sendak pulled the plug on this for Disney. And he held it for many, many years. And I forgot how he ended up selling the rights. I think it was around 2003 he agreed to let Spike Jonze direct this movie. And of course Spike Jonze was the only one allowed. The reason why Spike Jonze was the only one allowed to tell that version of the story, because Maurice Sendak thought it was the most faithful. And that's what Maurice Sendak wanted in Where the Wild Things Are. So if you want to blame somebody, you blame the author, because that was the way he wanted it. And I think it's a brilliant film. I think it's a very, very good film. Was it a bomb? Yes, because it was marketed to kids of today, and it was really supposed to be for kids that grew up with the book. Now, to the coup de grace. And, of course, I did a review of it. I will post the link to that in the description down below. So, and now I do apologize. After I rendered the video and uploaded it, I realized I loaded it as the most crappiest quality. I do apologize for that, because I do show a slideshow of how everything looks, and I got to be careful which software I use, because I'm pulling the pictures off of Blu-ray.com in the most resolution. Problem is, the software I use to edit that and put the music behind it doesn't do Windows Media, and because I'm using Windows Media to do these videos. And the software I used for that, it's good for slideshow, it's good for putting music behind it. It looks really good, even on 1080p. But the problem is the conversion software to convert it to Windows Media and dump it in with the rest of the content I wanted. Not to mention my mixer was messed up and you only heard my voice on one side, and you have massive audio problems. So if you do, just make sure you have your speakers on loud at that point. But what am I talking about? E.T., the Extraterrestrial 30th Anniversary Edition Blu-ray Digibook, courtesy of Best Buy. Now, you can only get this at Best Buy. And, of course, I want you to take a look at my review, and I talk about everything that's in this. But now we're going to drift off into a little bit more on the review of this, because I'm not going to say the name of this person. I got into kind of a debate with a person over, they said that it was the complete 100% 1982 version. Yes, it is, visually. But what I'm going to demonstrate here, I actually took this from both the 20th Anniversary Edition, which had the walkie-talkie cut, but also this version had the original 1982 version right here. And it has the original audio. The problem I have is with the audio, it is the 20th Anniversary Edition audio. with the exemption of the D. Wallace line. You're not going out there looking like a hippie. That has been changed back to the original line. You're not going out there looking like a terrorist. Well, you may be saying, well, K-Dog, where is that point exactly where you're getting that it's the 20th anniversary edition audio? I will play it for you. It is the scene as E.T. and Elliot are being examined by the doctors. Now, I am pulling this from that original DVD, from the original 1982 release DVD. That version only. And I will play the version that's on the Blu-ray. I actually pulled it from the Blu-ray, so I'm going to put on the headphones here so I can hear it along with you guys. So here, open up good old Adobe Audition. Let me make sure that's good and loud. Okay, here is the original 1982 release audio in that scene. Now listen carefully, because there is big, significant differences.
Run an ultrasound.
Do a test area, Janet. Get her at skin.
Run ultrasound over a disco phalanx, please.
Chloride isotonic. Nitrates 255 milliequivalents.
Right to do this. You're scaring him. You're scaring him.
What is it? A heart? Do you think it's changing color?
I don't know. Are there any other changes?
Temperature dropped from 20 to 17 degrees centigrade.
He's starting to
Leave him
decompensate.
alone.
Skin is cool and clammy. Pulse rapid and
Leave
weak.
him alone. I can take care of him.
There is no malfunction. The brain waves are identical. Both tracings are weakened like them.
He has an EKG tracing. He must maintain membrane coverage. Sure he's alive yet.
Make up a saline solution in the same proportion.
Okay, that was the original 1982 release audio. Here is the audio that is on the Blu-ray, and this was also on the 20th anniversary edition DVD.
This shows complete coherence and synchronization of brainwave activity between both subjects.
Skin biopsy reveals 9 millimeters of organized
Nitrates 255 milliequivalents.
For working on his
That'll do
frontal
IV
space,
and oral
carry
contrast.
tight.
If there's no response to 20 per kilo, let's move to hypertonic saline.
We have head-starts available.
Add bilirubin,
Prep 5 per kilo.
SGOT,
CDP line can help.
I think you get more information with swan gains.
Fine,
Add
but
a
let's
set
do
of
another
cardiac
fluoroscopy.
enzymes, maybe an
Right
Oxygen
to
saturation
do
is 82% on room air.
You're
Any hemoglobin
scaring
present?
him.
None detected.
100 over
You're
7.
scaring him.
70.
Respiratory rate 12. Good air entry, but decreased tidal volume on the boy. Put him on O2 liters by nasal cannula and draw blood gas in 20
Temperature drops
minutes.
from 20 to 17 degrees centigrade.
Get a hypothermia blanket and some warning
Leave him
lamps.
alone.
SPEC shows an absence of spike in the gamma globulin
You
rate.
leave him alone. I can take care of him.
Get a Doppler scope in here and set me up for a 2D cardiac echo.
Skin is cool and diaphoretic. Consider all shock etiologies.
Yeah, he's not perfusing at all. He needs inotropic support.
pH is down to 7.03. He's got a metabolic acidosis. It could be sepsis.
We've drawn 2 sets of blood cultures.
He needs broad spectrum coverage. How about Amgen and Flagyl?
Okay, you notice the difference? One, the audio in the original is completely, they added an echo effect. It is completely just under an echo. Everybody is echoing, or their pitch has been changed. And in the redo version, the echo is removed and the doctor's voices are completely changed. There's a lot more talking, but it is doctor's diagnosis, but it is completely different than what's in the original. So that's where I think There's a big difference. Also, this person wanted to debate that he had never seen the deleted scenes before. Well, if he had watched the 20th anniversary edition cut, you would know that those two scenes were in that version, because if he pays attention, E.T. is digital. It's not a puppet. It's a completely CGI version. So, that's pretty much what I wanted to add to the E.T. review. Again, I will post that down in the description, as well as a couple other videos I did in order to celebrate the 30th anniversary edition Blu-ray release. You know, it's still my favorite movie, regardless if it's this way. Of course, this visually, it's the 20th. It's the I'm getting them all mixed up. It's the 30th anniversary edition with the 1982 visuals, but it is the 20th anniversary edition audio. Now, I would say the probably reason why they did that was because that mix was already done in 5.1, and it was easier to go dig up 5.1 mix and do a 7.1 mix using the 5.1 masters. So that's probably what happened. And also you're going back to 1982 mixes. There was actually an article that came out not too long after the 20th anniversary edition, because the 20th anniversary edition also was a big upgrade in sound. Not just visually, not did they just add visual effects, but the sound was completely redone. The sound was originally released in 1982 Dolby Stereo, which is 2.0. And in 2002 they upgraded it to 5.1 under Dolby Digital EX, which was a brand new mix at the time. It was very experimental, and it was working great for new movies, but they really wanted to push it to see what it would do with an older title. And so E.T. was a prime candidate for upgrading from 2.0 to 5.1. And also they used the new DTS ES mix at the time, which was the same mix, but different theaters have different specifications. Like one is with DTS, another one will be Dolby Digital. So it's now called Datasat for DTS. DTS is mostly home theater systems now. Datasat has been the replacement. But yeah, that's the DVD and Blu-ray update for this month. I'll check back with you next month. I may have some new stuff. I may not. Who knows? But from me to you, see you later.